Today on Sara's Weeknight Meals, we're going downtown to Chinatown, on opposite sides of the continent.
Oh, I'm smelling it.
My old friend Grace Young has worked for years to preserve New York's vanishing Chinatown.
Chinatown is on life support, and it's quickly slipping away.
I know you're very attached to your wok.
Today, she's back in my kitchen with her trusty wok.
We're making Chinese barbecued pork. Yes,
Okay.
which is fabulous by itself, but we're going to use it for fried rice today, which is out of this world. It is the best. So many of my students call this meat candy.
If this is candy, I'm getting a sweet tooth. Then we cross North America to this. Can you believe we're in Vancouver's Chinatown?
I don't think you're talking about dumplings.
There's all sorts of deliciousness here.
Oh, my whole family is jealous right now.
We're making appetizers with tea. Tea smoked tofu with wakame salad and Yunnan eggs.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
rainbow colored.
And then dumplings.
So we're going to make a Korean version of Chinese dumplings.
That is just spectacular.
Thank you.
That was worth the price of admission.
Chinese treats you'll want on repeat on Sara's Weeknight Meals. In this impossibly beautiful city on the edge of the continent lies one of the largest Chinatowns in the world. Vancouver's Chinatown is a place where ancient traditions meet hipster hangouts and where its namesake inhabitants were not always welcome.
Chinese couldn't live in the city of Vancouver, didn't have any rights. They couldn't get jobs in the professions, and they had to stick together to protect each other. So they all formed Chinatown.
Judy Lamb Maxwell gives tours of Vancouver's Chinatown, and today she's showing me the places that make it unique.
So I'm going to take you to Treasure Green Tea. Olivia owns it. She's second-generation tea sommelier. Her dad started the business in 1981. It was the first authentic Chinese tea shop in the city of Vancouver. I'll drop you off here so that you can try a few teas, and I'm going to run some errands.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
Some drink tea,
Oh, that's so delicious.
others cook with it.
We are today featuring a tea smoked tofu with wakame salad.
Oh, fun.
I have extra firm tofu here. If you can slice it about a 1/4 inch thick for me. And after that, please pat dry the tofu.
okay.
Make our marination. We have 1 teaspoon of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt. So this is the Lapsang Souchong black tea from Fujian. It's a smoked black tea, very smoky.
That is
It's
so
almost
smoky.
like campfire. So we have the tea here. There's 1 tablespoon of Lapsang Souchong and 1 cup of water. I did make the marination ahead of time, and it looks like this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, black tea, the color is actually really gorgeous. So we're going to put the patted tofu into the bowl, and then...
Any particular way? Just
Yes, so as if they don't overlap each other would be the best. And I will pour the tea over it, and we'll marinate minimum 1 hour, but preferably overnight.
So this is what it looks like after you've marinated.
Yeah, so that one's marinated overnight. So you see the color is really beautiful. So you would have a pan and you want to line it with a couple foils, 1 tablespoon of rice, and then we have 2 tablespoons of tea.
This is so cool.
This is the smoky tea, of course. We can put the rack back on, and then we place the tofu
On top.
on top.
Did you smoke other things besides tofu?
Smoked duck is another one that we do.
Wow. Okay, now what happens?
Now we turn this stove on. Okay, it looks like it's smoking now. Wonderful. So this is the time that you turn off the stove, and then we let it sit for 15 minutes.
Okay.
So what I'm putting on the topping is, this one is my homemade wakame salad. You can also put whatever you like on top. I also have kimchi and some nori, seaweed, as well black sesame. They go really well with the smoked tofu as well.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good.
That was delicious. And there's more to come.
So this is second-generation Chinese-Canadian owned. It's Gamwai Dim Sum.
Ooh,
dim sum.
Everybody loves dumplings.
Yes, just like dumplings, there's a surprise inside this shop. William Liu gave up an opera career to take over his ailing father's dim sum shop.
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't think you were singing about dumplings either.
No, definitely not about dumplings.
Now, oh my God, these look like little pillows.
So the little pillowy ones right here, so those are our barbecue pork buns, or bao as we call them. This one is our sticky rice, or as we call it in Chinese, 粽子. So on the outside is wrapped with a bamboo leaf, which it gives it a really beautiful aroma.
And this guy over here?
Mushroom dumpling. So this one is one of our newer items for our menu. It's a vegan mushroom dumpling.
Well, we got to dig in.
Absolutely. Enjoy.
My husband says never eat anything larger than your head. And this is getting awfully close. So how do you eat these?
You just break it apart.
Oh, my whole family is jealous right now. It's so good. It's like barbecue and sweet and essence of pork.
So this is a really popular thing to eat during Dragon Boat Festival.
Okay. And that's sticky rice.
Yes. It's comfort food. It's very good.
Well, I think this is all comfort food. I think we're fairly safe to say that.
Mushroom dumplings. There are about 5 different kinds of mushrooms inside.
I'm a huge mushroom fan. And this, wow. This is just fantastic. Do you think ours will look like that?
Better.
Okay, then. I'm here with Judy Lamb Maxwell, who calls herself Chinatown Girl because you do these amazing tours of Chinatown. All the secret knowledge she has, this lady. At any rate, now we're at the end of our tour, and we get the dumpling at the end of the rainbow. You're going to show me how to make dumplings.
Yes.
What kind of dumpling are we making?
So we're going to make Bulgogi dumplings, Korean-style dumplings with ground beef.
Oh, yay. That sounds so good. So I just minced up, per your direction, 3 garlic cloves. And then what would you like me to do?
Chop up a quarter of an onion, half an inch of ginger, and 2 scallions. And I'll grate the carrot, and I'll put half a cup of Napa cabbage in the bowl.
So now I'm on to my ginger. And then the scallions, both part of the scallions?
The whole one.
So that's all the vegetables.
So we're going to add liquids now, and we're going to start with 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. The soy sauce I use is organic and unpasteurized. Half a tablespoon of fish sauce. Half a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. Not sesame oil, but toasted sesame oil, different flavor. So now we're going to add 1.5 tablespoons of brown sugar.
Oops. So that's the sweet element.
Yes. And then 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. So Asians use white pepper instead of black pepper.
Because it's sort of a drier heat.
Yes.
Yeah. And an egg. So that's ground beef.
Yes. And I'm just going to add it to this.
Oh, I see. Okay, you are beating it up. Yeah, I never understand when people just say throw an egg in, because then it's much harder to incorporate. Now, this looks like a lifetime supply.
Nothing ever goes to waste. I make dumplings for the elders in the community.
Oh,
as
how
you know.
nice. Should I get the wonton wrappers? And where do you find them?
You can get them at any Chinese grocery store.
Sometimes supermarkets. I found them in supermarkets in the frozen food section. All right, so what do we do?
I'm going to put water on the edge of both sides.
Oh, both sides?
Yes. And then you put your thumbs an inch apart. You start with your left thumb at the start of where the water is, and then your other thumb's an inch away, and then you're going to use your index finger to push and make the fold. So 1, and you press it at the top, and move your fingers over and do another fold. 2, Move your fingers over again and do a third fold 3. So I use a coffee spoon to fill the dumplings with the ingredients because a teaspoon is too big. So I've made a little pouch.
You sure did.
I'm gonna put water on the back, rest it on the mat or board, and press the edges together.
Wow.
And then I push it down so there's more surface area for cooking. And there we go.
That's beautiful. I'm nervous. Okay. So let's see what.
So we'll do it together.
Okay.
Over and do another fold.
These are gorgeous. They look like the Rockettes.
You did a great job.
Not really, but you say it's practice, practice,
Yes.
practice.
So we're gonna cook them, and I'm gonna use avocado oil. You could use grapeseed oil. So you wanna use a high temperature
Smoke point.
Smoke point, yeah.
Oil. I'm shocked you don't heat the pan first?
No, it doesn't make sense because some are gonna be cooking at different times.
Oh.
So I'm gonna put a few more in.
Okay. And turn the heat on.
Medium high. There we go. Look at it. Looks beautiful.
Now, do you cover it?
No, I'm just gonna wait till it starts crackling, and then I'm gonna add water, and then I'm gonna put the lid on.
Okay.
Yeah, do you hear it crackling?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Faint crackle. Okay.
So we can add some water now. So about 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup. So I just want it to be halfway up. You can see. And then I'm gonna put the lid on. And I'm gonna put the heat down to medium. And then I'm gonna put my timer on for 5 minutes.
So what is the point of the shape, the crescent?
So they're shaped like ingots. It's supposed to be like good luck, prosperity. You eat it, and then you have good luck.
Wow. Well, there's lots of things like that in Chinese culture.
There's a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of superstition in Chinese culture. So this is ready. So this is gonna cook for about 3 to 5 more minutes. By the time the water evaporates, it'll be crispy on the bottom.
And when do you eat dumplings?
Chinese New Year's, birthdays, Christmas time, special celebrations is when you sit down together, make them together, and eat them together.
How do you get them out of the pan? I mean, that's going to take forever.
Watch this.
Oh, no. I'm scared.
So this is really simple. You don't have to take them out one at a time.
Whoa! Oh!
There you go.
Oh, you just pulled a Julia Child on me. That is just spectacular.
Thank you.
That was worth the price of admission. Why, thank you. Well, I think we must go eat.
Yes, I
Yeah,
think so.
let's head out to the garden.
Okay, I'll take this out.
So the moment has come, right? Should we just,
Okay.
yeah, go right in? Oh, dear. These are big. Can I eat it in 2 bites? No? It's all
Go
gotta
for
go
it.
in. Okay. Oh, wow. That's so good. So, can you tell which one are yours and which ones are mine? Yours are the perfect ones.
No, they all look the same.
Oh, you got a point there. I mean, after all, they are upside down. That was genius. You did that for me. You did that for me. How nice.
Your wok is talking to you.
Ooh, I'm smelling it. This is so wonderful.
Chinatown is on life support, and it's quickly slipping away.
So a lot of people with no choice but to close up.
They are linked to our past, and when we lose our past, we lose a part of ourselves.
What are we making today?
We're making Chinese barbecued pork Yes, which
Okay.
is fabulous by itself, but we're going to use it for fried rice today, which is out of this world.
Oh, I'm so excited. All righty, so we're going to start with the marinade?
Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
We want 2 tablespoons of sugar,
Okay.
bean sauce.
Okay.
And you want just a tablespoon of it.
And what is bean sauce exactly?
Bean sauce is made with soybeans. It's sort of like Chinese miso.
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah. Dark soy sauce. It's aged a little bit longer. This is hoisin sauce. This has more sugar in it,
I was going to say, this is pretty sweet.
but a little bit of smokiness too. And this is the regular soy sauce.
Yes. And this is all a tablespoon of each one of these, right?
Right. Rice wine, Shaoxing rice wine. But don't worry if you can't find it. You could just use dry sherry. 1 teaspoon of Asian sesame oil.
Right.
Yep. And lastly, a little bit of white pepper.
Just a pinch?
Yeah, 1/8 of a teaspoon. Yeah.
Okay, this is exactly 1/8 of a teaspoon. Okay, so the pork goes right in here.
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And what kind of pork was it?
Oh, this is 1 pound of pork shoulder or Boston butt. Now we're going to cover it and put it in the refrigerator.
For how long?
Well, ideally overnight, churning it occasionally, but if you're in a rush, 4 or 5 hours is great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I think you need to hose down, and I'll get this in here. Okay, so this we've marinated overnight, and it looks different. It looks like it's been marinated.
Yep. It's very, very simple. All you need to do now is transfer it to this roasting pan that has the rack. So the most important thing is you want to leave about 1 inch of space between the pieces. This is the critical part. You add about 1/4 of an inch of water, and this is what keeps the meat moist as it's cooking.
So it's sort of a steamy environment.
Right.
Now, what is this for?
So this is honey.
That's
and
local honey, by the way.
local honey, yeah, the
Came
best.
from right near here.
And we're just going to drizzle a little of the honey on each piece.
Wow.
And that's what gives it that wonderful glaze. That's sort of like a roast ham.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you get this beautiful sticky glaze at the end.
So this goes under the broiler?
Yes.
Let's go pop it in.
So you want it 4 inches from the heat,
Okay. And how long do you let it go?
7 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful. Say you don't want to make it. Can you buy it?
Of course, it's excellent from a restaurant, but the homemade is incredible. It is the best. So many of my students call this meat candy.
Wow.
Ooh, this is looking great. Yes. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. So I'm just turning them over. Oh my God. And that aroma. Now I'm just going to brush on a little bit more marinade.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
And
bit.
because this is going back under the broiler, it doesn't matter that the raw meat marinated in this, because this is going to cook under the broiler.
Exactly.
Now this goes back under, what, for another, say,
7 to 10 minutes.
and cover it with foil if it starts to burn.
Exactly. Yep.
So while that's finishing up, tell me about the work you've been doing in Chinatown.
I've been trying to do everything in my power to raise awareness that we need to support these historic immigrant communities.
Right, because they've been around for years and years and years. And we depend on them. I do too.
They are a sacred part of America.
Yeah. What do you think? Should we take a little peek?
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, it's perfect. Oh my God. And the aroma. Here's our meat candy, Chinese barbecued pork. Perfect.
Now what happens with this?
So we're going to let it rest 10 minutes.
Okay,
And then
that's it.
cut it into 1/2 inch diced pieces.
Well, so let's go down and talk about fried rice.
So this rice has been cooked the day before, and I'm just going to fluff it again. If you did freshly cooked rice, it's too hot and moist.
Really?
Yeah, and so fried rice becomes sticky and gummy.
You know, I realized that you could also use the leftover Chinese rice, right?
Yeah, if you're in a pinch and you had some Chinese takeout, you can certainly use takeout rice. This is peeled and deveined shrimp, and it's been patted dry. This is very important. You don't want it to be sopping wet, because when you put it into the hot wok with the oil, it's going to spatter, and it's also going to take down the temperature of the wok.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I'm going to cut this into 1/2-inch pieces. And whenever you're prepping ingredients for a stir fry, it's very important to try and cut your ingredients into more or less the same size.
Yeah, that makes sense. You want these patted dry also, right?
Yes.
And the reason for having them all the same size is because you want them all cooked at the same moment.
Yeah.
Now, do you want me to do the pork?
Yes. The pork should be in 1/2-inch dice. So let me talk to you about my wok a little bit.
I know you're very attached to your wok. You just about sleep with it, don't you? How does your husband feel about that?
I know. This is a flat bottom carbon steel wok. It's the wok that I recommend in general for most cooks. It works great on gas, electric. So it's really important to preheat the wok, because without that, your food is going to stick when you do a stir fry.
I got it.
Yeah. And the other thing that we want to do is line up the ingredients in the order that we're going to use them. So here's a tablespoon of oil in the shrimp, another tablespoon of oil. Can you grab the peas?
Oh, yes. So we're just using frozen peas, about how much?
1 cup. I already measured it. I test the temperature of the wok with a drop of water. So this is about it.
Okay. So swirl around.
Yeah. That's it.
How am I doing, boss?
Beautiful. Yeah. And then immediately add the shrimp.
Okay. Anywhere in particular?
Nowhere.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. And then you can stir fry.
Okay. So
And you
just
want to
keep it
stir fry
moving.
this, for about, just until the shrimp turns orange.
Okay. So I should be sort of just keeping it moving. Is there a particular motion? You're probably going nuts watching me.
No, you're excellent. You're a natural-born walker.
There you go. There you go.
So it's just turned orange, and so I am going to add the next tablespoon of oil
Okay.
and
What's next?
the rice.
How do you add it? All of it, just any particular way.
That's it.
Oh, that was very unceremonious. That was a very much of a right
And the
in there.
peas. I can take the peas now.
Okay. And again, anywhere in particular? No.
No.
Okay. The thing about Chinese cooking, it makes me so nervous. It's like doing watercolors. You spend hours getting all the materials ready, and then 30 seconds you have to get it cooked. You have to get it painted.
Listen to our pan. The wok is always talking to you. Do you hear the sizzle?
I do.
So if we hadn't preheated it correctly, there would be no sizzle sound, and that is not good. And also take a look at the fact there is absolutely no sticking. So this is natural nonstick cookware. So now we can add the pork and the scallions. Yeah, just pour it all in. Oh, that looks so good.
Doesn't it?
And now 1/2 teaspoon of salt, roughly, and about a big pinch of white pepper.
Why white pepper? I know this is common in Chinese cooking.
The Chinese don't like black specks. So in less than 5 minutes, you've got your meal.
Now, there you go. Again, like watercolors. You're like, get it done, and then it's done.
So beautiful.
But yours is beautiful. My watercolors aren't necessary.
And the best thing is I always have cooked rice at home. And I suddenly realized I need to get dinner on the table. And I always have something in the fridge.
This is a perfect vehicle for leftovers.
Yes.
Fried rice.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
if this is it, we're going to go outside in my beautiful garden and have lunch.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, I love this. It's my all-time favorite fried rice.
So on the pork, and it's nice and moist, even though, we cooked it medium well, because it's got all that fat in there. It keeps it going.
All my friends who have made this recipe, all my students who have made this recipe, once you've made it, you can't stop thinking about it. You become an addict for homemade Chinese barbecued pork.
This is just so ridiculously good. I'm going to have to make this meat candy. When I told my son we were going to do this, he's like, Mom, can I come? Well, now I'm going to do it. And now I see how easy it is. I have to say thank you so much. And thank you for coming back.
Let's have a little toast.
Sarah, it's been my pleasure, and I'm glad you're a new addict.
Oh my God, yes. Thank you. Next time, we'll go to Chinatown.
Absolutely.
Yes.